Okay, who wants to go next?
I can go if nobody else wants to.
The stage is yours.
All right, let me get this set up and share my screen 1 second. Hmm, All right, all right. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. So my project was I would say a pretty learning, teaching project. I would say, there's two parts about it that I have done in this project. The first part is I've um made a login and a sign up kind of functions, and I use AWS Lambda and API Gateway and dynamo database as my database choice. What I wanted to do mostly is use two-factor authentication, see if I can implement it in my app. So here, I'll demonstrate here in a second. So like for example, if I go to sign up, let me just sign up with this, and I'll get into more into it in a sec. So it's pretty straightforward. Successfully create my account. Then it goes to the login screen. I can log in from here. And this is the interesting part that I liked about it is the two-factor authentication. So when I press login, it will go ping AWS. It will tell it to send a code to my email, and I have to enter that code from my email. So here, let me pull the screen and refresh this. So as you can see right here, basically it sends an email to whoever is like registered with like a 5-digit code that you have to input to verify yourself. So for example, here I'll put this in and bam, successfully logged in, and now it will continue to the application, the main application. So the second part of this application is it basically grabs all the locally saved passwords from your machine. For example, like Google Chrome, Firefox, Microsoft Edge. It will get all of those saved passwords, put them in a list, and it would like the purpose is to scrape the web and find like leaked databases and see if your password has been leaked anywhere. And there are some other functions. So this is basically the introduction, saying basically it will collect the passwords and whatnot, and by accept you understand. So here it will fetch the passwords, it will grab them all, put them all in one spot, and there we go. So on the side, you can see I have 182 Google Chrome saved passwords, and it's basically saying it's ready to start. It's ready to start checking and scraping to get the return data and see if there's anything leaked. So I'll demonstrate that right here. So if I press start, I censored the emails because there will be like passwords shown, and obviously I don't want to show that. But as you can see right here, it's going through my emails that in stored in my Google Chrome, and it's basically using this website that's called Have I Been I don't know how to say the word, pun,
Pwned.
PWE, yeah. So, it's using their services, to see what kinda, leaked passwords, anything that I have to watch out for, and another cool thing I've implemented with this is these results on the side, basically. Basically, it will go through my passwords. It will say, "Oh, you got 15 weak passwords. You got 141 reoccurring passwords," which I should probably start using different passwords as that's obviously not secure. Um, and I have a full summary here. I've censored everything out basically, but it will show you like what leaked data that it gathered, like the email here. It will give you the last breach. I don't know why I censored that out, and the amount of passwords leaked from this email. And there's other ones like it tells you like weak passwords. It give you like the username and the site you register on, and like what's the weak password. And there's this the reoccurring password list. It will tell you basically you've used this password more than once, and that's basically not a good security practice, and you should probably change them basically. And that's basically it. It's really, I think it's a um, cool tool. And as you can see right here, it's saying it found actually 74 leaked passwords. This is from my emails. I have many stored emails on here for testing purposes and stuff. And I mean, that's like basically it.
Very impressive. Now, I am glad that you're checking passwords off of a pre-existing service like Have I Been Pwned, because this really reminds me of those malware applications that would be like, enter your credit card info and we'll check to see if it's been leaked. So you've got your liability end covered at least.
Yeah.
Um,
Um, Also, if anybody interested, this is basically my backend code that's set on AWS. Um, I always love their Lambda functions. It's and like Lambda functions integrated with API gateway. Uh, Pretty amazing. I tried to take like the best security practices if this was like an actual application by like encrypting the password with like SHA 512 with base 64 encoded. Um, and you can see here like this is all like the backend code where it sends the email and all the cool stuff. And I use DynamoDB like as like my database to store like the user accounts and such. And this is basically it. This is where like that's my the account I signed up on and all that cool stuff. So yeah, it's pretty straightforward app. I think it's pretty cool.
very impressive. Have you been doing this for a long time?
Um, in this field, I wouldn't say like decrypting passwords and doing all that stuff. I like it's not like a thing I usually do. I've actually been like this is the first time like I've learned how Google stores their passwords. Um, there has been like a few changes of how they do it now. Before it was just a basic encryption that uses the local machine credentials, and now they like increase their security to using a like a key and IV all together to ensure security. But the surprising thing I've learned about this is locally safe passwords are really not that safe. Like, and I think like the majority of people sometimes don't realize that, and this is why the project like really interests me here.
I mean, it's very
How
well
does
done.
Google Chrome store its passwords?
So yeah, in the older version, in the older versions, they use this. It's called DPAPI. Basically, from what I've learned, it uses like the local machine credentials to encrypt their passwords and then save it to the local machine in an SQLite file. Um, the new way, they started encrypting their passwords. Here, let me get the code up here if I can, so I can explain better. Um, Let me go over here. In the new way, they started using keys that are stored within the the encrypted blob itself. So you would like take the IV, the key, and everything related, and then you decrypt it, which kind of made me wonder, like, how is this a step up security? Because like it's still possible to decrypt this if somebody got access to your machine. Um, as you can see here, this here is basically taking the key and the IV out of the encrypted value and then decoding it. The old way is just literally using 132 crypt to basically decrypt this. Um, and one last thing um, with the new security feature, they included a file. I think it's like random generated strings as well that use as a key. As you can see here, like I grab it, it's like in a user the user data, local state. It's basically like random generated strings that they also use in their encryption, which I mean, I still don't get why, but I don't know. Like it still isn't like much of a security, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, cool. Thanks for explaining.
So maybe I missed this part, but what's the account for? Like the user account?
Basically, I wanted to see if I can implement a way of using two-factor authentication, because that's something I've wanted to do. It's like, oh, maybe this would be a cool thing, and basically it's just like a test experiment, like to see if I actually developed an application, would I be able to implement two-factor authentication and like use the popular security practices, if you know what I mean. So it was basically like a test experiment.
Gotcha. And how did you do your 2FA? What setting do
Um,
you know?
yeah. So yeah, I made a Gmail account, and there's this option called like a setting in your Google account says like apps, like less secure apps, whatever, like user account, and basically you can use the SMT like server. You can like put
Gotcha.
your email, your password, the receipt, like whoever you're sending to in the message, and you can easily send emails back and forth for like two-factor authentication.
Got it.
Yeah.
Can I ask how the two-factor code is generated? Is it using like an HMAC counter-based thing, or is it just a random number?
It's basically a random number generated on the server side. So I would say I don't know if I think that would be like a good security practice. It's just on the server side and sends it on from there to the email.
Okay, so
So-
it wouldn't work with like a Google Authenticator. There's no secret key that.
Not quite, no.
Okay.
You mentioned like there's a database of some sort. Like
Ye-
not have I been pwned, but you're storing passwords somewhere. I think I missed that part
Yeah,
in DynamoDB.
on DynamoDB. I wanted to like take this as serious as possible. Basically, encrypting, like as you can see here, like this is encrypted and encoded with base64 and SHA 512. So this is like I guess this would be like the best security practice you would take.
Yeah, I would say to beef that up, you might want to switch to like Argon 2 ID or bcrypt.
What's that?
Argon 2 ID or bcrypt if you wanted to up the security on that.
Okay.
Since you had mentioned that as best security practice.
All right. Yeah, I'll definitely look into that. Is there any other questions?
None from me.
All right. I guess that'll be all I got.